A bit more about Analysis Grand Challenge. What is this initiative, how it is organized, and what is our goal? We're trying to understand how we will manage to cope with Halumi LHC data pipeline and what is happening behind. We're trying to evaluate a new Python ecosystem and also integrate differentiable analysis pipeline. A second task as well is to provide flexible and easy to use low latency analysis facilities. How it works in the practice. We have analysis tools which are developed by IRIS-HEP and its partners, and we're trying to build analysis facilities which are matching technical requirements and used to deploy analysis tools that are developed. On analysis facility, we will execute Analysis Grand Challenge benchmark. This work is conducted during 2021-2023, and it gives us enough time to tune our tools and prepare them actually for a Halumi LHC run. As well, this activity is done together with LHC Ops programs, CMS and Atlas, and LHC experiments and other partners. Analysis Grand Challenge is connecting different working groups in IRIS-HEP. How it works? We have data organization management and access team, which provides us that efficient data delivery tools and mechanisms. We have analysis system, which provides us new packages and actually analysis tools that will be used by physicists. And we have scalable system lab that provides us deployment techniques and resources.
Here we're going to take a look at some of the software libraries and some of the services that we're making use of concretely in the context of the Analysis Grand Challenge. Starting out here on the left, this all falls within the realm of the Analysis Systems group in IRIS-HEP. Many of the libraries here are either being developed, led by, or collaborated, or we're collaborating in IRIS-HEP for the purpose of getting all of this functionality here available to everyone who would like to do physics analysis. So these libraries are, for example, things like uproot for accessing data from root files, awkward array, coffee for columnar processing, histogramming libraries, boost, histogram, and hist, things related to plotting, such as matplotlib/HEP, statistical inference with tools like cabinetry and PyHF. Besides all of these analysis systems libraries, there's also like a DOMA aspect here. We have Service X as our data delivery service, which is appearing, and then there's a range of other more optional services available for use, and we're trying them out in the context of the Analysis Grand Challenge. That includes, for example, Coffee Cafe as our analysis facility that we're using, where the analysts can log in and they have already the environment available to them that provides them everything they need for their physics analysis needs. Things like Skyhook and Xcache, as well as other aspects like FuncX that provides us function as a service functionality. In order to test that everything we're working on for this Analysis Grand Challenge really does work in practice like we envision it should, we're putting together a benchmark analysis where we are implementing all realistic workflow aspects that a physics analyzer needs for their day-to-day analysis needs. That means we need to have some data that we're processing in that context, and we're relying on CMS open data, taken in 2015 and made available publicly at the end of 2021 for that purpose. Open data is crucial here because by using open data, it allows anyone else who's interested in this project to rerun the same aspects of the workflow or to re-implement them in other tools that they might want to test out instead. Everything that we're working on is developed publicly in our GitHub repository, and we really encourage anyone else who's interested in this effort to also take a look, to contribute, to re-implement things, and also to benchmark things, because we're interested in how what we're doing here compares to other possible approaches that people might be interested in. On this slide here, we're going to take a brief look at a slice through the analysis pipeline that we're investigating here. Starting out at the very left, we're accessing columnar data through Service X, making use of various other things such as uproot in order to read root files, for example. Following the access of columnar data, we're doing columnar event processing, and that includes things such as selecting events relevant to the physics analysis at hand, applying systematic uncertainties, and ultimately filling everything into histograms that we're going to be using for subsequent steps. With all of these histograms available, we can then construct our statistical model and serialize that into a workspace. That workspace now contains all of the information that we need in order to calculate what our likelihood is as a function of all the parameters we want to measure, and IRIS-HEP is the tool that we're using for that purpose in order to create this likelihood. Once we have that available, we can now perform statistical inference and finally also visualize all of our results to see what our analysis has resulted in. And at the very end, another step here that is important is that we would like to implement an analysis that is not just usable once, but that can be reused. So for purposes such as wanting to test what is our sensitivity to a new signal model, for example, we're able to take a look at that in the future, rerun the whole pipeline, and get new results out of this as well.
A bit more about analysis facility to explain you how we're planning to design it and what we are going to use for actually execution of our analysis grand challenge. So here you see there's two parts. This is a prototype of analysis facility called Coffee Casa. It's an interactive facility, and we have two parts. There is Kubernetes resources and existing resources which are provided from Grid or cluster. We have a Jupyter Hub notebook which provides actually interactivity. We give each user a resource, a personal computation resource called Pod, with pre-configured task scheduler and task workers. We integrate it inside facility. Our data delivery services, ServiceX and Skyhook, and as well give possibility of efficient data access for data sets. The other part allows us to scale through the pre-configured work queue to existing resources. For example, running on HT Condor queue, like in this case, how it is shown. These facilities will allow us to provide early access for the users for the running our analysis pipeline, and as well to test the performance of our analysis benchmark itself.
This is an example of a notebook running at a Coffee Casa instance hosted at SSL. And in this notebook, you can see how the analysis pipeline that we are investigating looks like in practice when it runs. Everything at Coffee Casa is already available, and you can log in and you have the full environment set up available in order to run the analysis pipeline that you're interested in. So when we hit start on this notebook, what is going to end up happening is that we send out our requests to Service X for data processing. And as you can see here in the progress bars, what's happening now is Service X will go through all the files that we would like to use for further subsequent columnar analysis. You can see the requests happening here in real time. You get back the progress of all of the different requests where we're doing transformations. The data gets sent back, and as it gets sent back, it will be further processed with Coffee. We have lots of utilities available here in order to track what exactly is happening and to visualize the resource usage and such. And we have an HT Condor cluster here. You can take a look, for example, at utilities to see how exactly things are scaling through Dask. Here's an example. And then as you go through that notebook, you will see ultimately we get back results and we get back things that are actually physically interesting. So in this example here, we are reconstructing, for example, a top mass in this plot here. And as you go further down, we are performing statistical analysis. You can see a few results of the parameters we're fitting and a few more figures visualizing what is happening.